Ladies and gentlemen, what a weekend it has been on Sportswire Radio. We started it earlier with homecoming weekend, you might want to say. And we started it off with a guy that was the first rock star, the first BYWer to come on to Sportswire Radio, Sean Jovi. Jovi definitely had it going on, but I'm not going to ask our guest about Sean Jovi. We know what time it is, but Jovi, he gave us his story. That was one day. Yesterday, there was this guy apparently who's a tyrant king and a nemesis. And well, his nemesis, the guy I'm looking at right now, came on the screen and he didn't, well, give us much controversy, but rather gave him some real talk, some real advice. And it almost sounded like hell had frozen over. And we'll talk about that later. But now the man that arguably is home to the house that he helped build. You know, earlier this week on Sportswire Radio, there was this guy, this rock star, Josie Scott, the original and the only voice of Saliva. And he's the guy that sung Batista's song, Chris Jericho's King of My World, and the Dudleys Get the Tables, and that movie everybody talked about, Spider-Man. And we had a hero one day, but Anthony Steele, if it wasn't for him and, well, maybe some of his anti-heroics on Sportswire Radio over the years, Josie Scott wouldn't have been here. But Anthony Steele has got a lot to talk about here tonight because we are now officially, ladies and gentlemen, 6 days away from the biggest match of his career, which is once again a triple threat match for a championship. But there's a wrench where it's technically 2 championships on the line, and Anthony Steele might win the IMF World Championship or maybe even win the United States Championship, the championship, after all, that he put on the map. Sorry, Sean Jovi, you may have it going on, but Anthony Steele was oh, by the way, the longest reigning United States champion of all time. We'll talk about that possibility. We'll also talk about that other guy that Anthony Steele thought he was done with, and even that guy in that black hood who made sure that Anthony Steele wouldn't be a world champion coming home, because after all, that guy in the black hood, it is his platform, and he doesn't want to be, well, let's just say, overstepped on the boundaries of his platform by, well, this guy who is the real deal. But boy, he's got plenty to say. We're going to watch that match, which included the Prince of Professional Wrestling and this guy, Rory Fox, and we'll get to your comments, and I'm sure we'll have some surprises. Plus, I've even got something for our guest. And I know he's right there when it comes to Hall of Fame awards and championships here and everything else. But it is now time to welcome him home, especially after what this platform has become. And ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to start this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the #1 global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. And in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby. Here we go. So we're down! Here on the Sports Report. #1 Cable Sports Show. A man that was once the most controversial figure in wrestling history, but is now, just simply put, the real deal. And a man that has helped close companies, but also has now regained his footing. It is now time to formally introduce him as, simply put, the real deal. youngest reigning IMF U.S. champion and the Rumble in the Wreck winner is here. My friend, how are we doing? And welcome home.
I'm doing all right, Tom. Just got done earlier watching my Green Bay beat the Bengals, so I'm all right. 3-1-1 this season. It
The
ain't bad.
one. Well, you know the tie might come in handy. Listen, the tie.
That time, hey, it wasn't a loss. It wasn't a
And
loss.
listen, the Steelers a few years ago did make the playoffs with a tie. So that's one thing. By the way, I got to ask you, I mean, what do you think of the war chant? Some people like them. LA Guns frontman Phil Lewis, not so much. Sean Jovi was doing it with us. James Taylor was singing along. I mean, some people like, some people don't. What about you? This is your
unique.
platform, after all.
It's unique, man. You know, you gotta do your own thing. You can't be like every podcaster.
Oh, this is not like everyone else's. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
You built this platform, Anthony. You didn't want it to be that way.
That's the biggest thing is, you know, everything is becoming different. And the best way I could start off this podcast is by doing one of my announcements.
Okay. Well, before you do that, though, I do want to wish a happy birthday to Il Drago's son because he's having a birthday tomorrow. And I hope it's the best birthday yet. And hope it's the best is yet to come for you. And you have wonderful parents and they support us. I know you're going to be talking about that man, Drago, who you've got plenty of history, but I want to wish him a happy birthday, Keanu. And he also shares a name with one of my favorite actors, Mr. John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves. And Keanu Reeves also Bill and Ted's, all those movies, and The Matrix, of course. And we're not going to talk about you in the red and the blue, but you kind of are kind of that these days. But I hope you have a happy birthday. And I hope it's the best one yet. I hope everybody in the IMF locker room celebrates your birthday belatedly this coming Saturday. And God bless your wonderful parents. But that's what I wanted to do. But I'll turn it over to you, Anthony, because you want to go right off the bat and have another announcement. So take it away.
So one of the announcements that I have for tonight is now, before I say this announcement, Omen, I know you're watching. Drago, I know you're watching. This changes nothing about what's going to transpire this Saturday. Changes nothing. But I'm currently wearing a compression sleeve on my knee and have to go get an MRI done to see if I tore an MCL. I've been wrestling on this for about a year and a half. And it's starting to take a little toll on me. And I'd rather be safe than sorry. But at the same time, so far, I've been cleared to compete this Saturday. So I will be at IMF. I will be in the main event to face not only Il Drago, but Omen Black for the IMF World Championship and the IMF United States Championship. And that, guys, that's a fact. Because there's one thing that y'all will learn about me. No matter what happens, I will always show up. If I'm injured, if this is an injury that takes me out of the ring, just know I'm going to be at IMF. I will show up to IMF even while injured. I'm going to make sure that I'm a thorn in your side, Omen, and the entire house. So don't take this as I'm weak, because I'm still walking, still talking, I'm still breathing, I'm still doing everything that I normally do. So when I enter that ring, don't think that I'm less than 100%, because while my knee might be messed up, I'm not. And I feel completely fine. So stay tuned, guys, because the next IMF World Champion is on the horizon.
Well, time out. All right, this definitely takes somewhat of a detour for our conversation tonight. Now, just to confirm for the audience, you are going to compete this Saturday. I just want to confirm that for the audience. You're going to all right, so you're going to wrestle this Saturday.
Yes.
Now, is this MRI, if you're able to say, is this MRI going to take place before this Saturday?
I do not know. I have to get in contact with them and try to schedule it tomorrow. and see what transpires then. It could happen before the show, could happen after the show. But either
Or
way,
you've got two opponents right now that may permanently put you on the shelf because now they know what you've just told us. We didn't know about this, that you've been wrestling with this for a long time, but now it's almost catching up with you. Almost, you can't outrun it, like the Outrunners promo that Sean Jovi showed us here on Friday's show. But this could change things dramatically for this Saturday because now we know you're dealing with something. You know the IMF champion is here, and you know not too far behind is the IMF United States champion, and they now know what time it is, and they can use this to their advantages.
they can attempt to. See, that's the one thing that I've done through my entire career. If we go to when me and Jordan Nets faced, he went after my leg. When I've faced Jovi, he's went after my leg.
Drago, you've had a lot of matches with Drago.
Drago,
was in there.
Like everyone has went after my leg, and I've still.
Fred Tachia, you've been in the ring with as well. You've had definitely some big opponents.
Like I've wrestled on this with it being messed up, like I said, for a year and a half. So in a year and a half, I've sat here and done the same thing that I'm going to do Saturday night. And that is compete on a potential injured knee that, yeah, they could cause more damage.
They now know. They know now what to do.
But here's the thing, though. The one thing that y'all got to understand is, with you guys knowing this, I've known this for a while. Do you really think I'm going to let you get that close? Do you think I'm going to let you get anywhere near my knee to take me out?
I don't know.
Because this Saturday, I'm the most locked in I've ever been in IMF history. I'm locked in on leaving IMF with a championship around my waist. Ever since I lost my title in June, I've had my ups, I've had my downs. But my main factor in all of this, what is driving me to continue to go to no matter what happens and go to the extreme lengths that I'm willing to go, is Omen Black. I'm wanting to teach Omen a lesson. And that lesson, Omen, will soon be found out later tonight.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. I'm sure that we'll get to that. But, I mean, you were putting a lot on the line. You know, I know you were here yesterday and you spoke a little bit, and maybe we'll get into that. Maybe not, depending on the conversation. But you were here last time, and we talked about that championship. You talked about how you knew the house and you had this plan. You were taking them out within, and then there was obviously sort of a fork thrown into your plans. But now you've told the world that you could be dealing with a potential serious injury, and you've got everything on the line. You haven't been a world champion in a long time. You talked about that here last on Sportswire. Everybody knows that's been following you. You've been coming on here for now almost 3 years. Time flies. And this is one of the biggest moments of your career. You even spoke about last night about how now you have become an independent wrestler. You've talked about your own gear. You have talked about the time that you've put into this. You've talked about also this sport, how much you eat, sleep, and drink this sport. And now we know what you're dealing with. I mean, this maybe say it ain't so, Anthony Steele. Say it ain't so, and maybe Father Time is about to catch up with you.
Not yet. It's not my time. It's not my time to leave. See, I've been doing this, like I've said, for going on 9 years. But in 9 years' time, I've done a lot. I've done a lot more than a lot of people can say.
I agree with that.
See, I didn't have to politic my way through it. I didn't have to sit here and beg the owner to give me a championship opportunity. I didn't have to sit here and beg an owner to let me be the face of his company. No, I've busted my ass to get where I'm at. I've busted my ass to get into IMF to prove to them that I'm worth being here. And now is the time to show the IMF why I deserve to be the next IMF World Heavyweight Champion. See, because the biggest thing, it's kind of like Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell. Everyone knew going into there Cody wasn't 100%. Everyone knew Cody was injured, but he wouldn't give up the fight. He didn't let it not happen. No, he fought his ass off, and that's what I plan to do on Saturday. Is I'm gonna fight my ass off and take one of those championships off the waist of somebody.
Well, now, interesting you bring that up. Now, we're going to show your match here in a few minutes with Rory Fox and Felix Jones. And I know a lot of people are going to want to talk to you tonight. We're going to show that match because you and I were talking a lot about it. And I thought it was one of the most fascinating matches of your career, but for some different reasons. And we're going to talk about that, and I hope people will join me in watching that. But you also mentioned the United States Championship, a championship that you have held longer than anybody in the history of the IMF. Il Drago has that championship. You have quite a history with him. You were really down with him, and you sort of are, I guess, kind of, well, we'll find out this Saturday. But if you, let's say, win the United States Championship instead of the World Championship, will that be a letdown and a disappointment for you?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Like I said, my main goal is to beat Omen. The rules are if Omen gets pinned, he loses his title. If Drago gets pinned, he loses his title. So my thing is I'm looking to pin Omen Black.
Right.
But if the odds are in my favor and Drago is laid out in the middle of that ring, I don't mind taking back something that I didn't rightfully lose the right way, Drago. You talk about being a humble man. Let me humble you for a minute. If it wasn't for me already wrestling early in the night and then entering the Rumble, you cashed in. And in an actual match, you're 0-2 against me.
And one of those matches, you stacked both him and a guy that's an underground OG, and you did that in a cage.
And you know, in order to win the United States Championship, congratulations. You took your prime opportunity. Like I said before, I'm not gonna hate you for it. I would have done the same thing. And you know, thinking about it, you got a pinfall victory against me in order to earn that opportunity in that cage. But if we go to where it really matters, when the times where it's 100% Anthony Steele, 100% Il Drago, I don't think Drago has what it takes to beat me one-on-one. I don't think Il Drago has the mentality of what a real United States champion looks like. Because for 9 months, Drago, I held that championship. I made it more relevant than any other person that's ever held that has. I have the most accomplished United States title run. Better than Jovi. Better than Mephisto. And better than you. See, because here's the biggest thing.
Yes, sir.
As while you're too busy in triple threats every month, defending that championship, I fought one-on-one. Prime example, Winter Clash, Jovi, 3 doors down. I was sick. I was sicker than a dog stepping into that match. Definitely not 100%. Still came out on top. Went through 2 doors. 2 doors I went through. and still came out on top. So what makes that brings it back to earlier. If I wasn't 100% then, and I could still win, what makes anyone think I can't do it Saturday night?
That is an interesting point. But before I show your last match on the screen, which I really want to talk about with you, it's sometimes you see this in sports where a team has an opportunity to win a division championship or to go out there and go and, let's just say, get a home field play advantage or a home playoff game, and they make the playoffs. They made it. They played the game, but they lost. They lost the game, or they won and there was a tiebreaker, and they wind up not getting what they really wanted, which was the bye in the first round or the home field advantage or a division championship. And that's kind of the scenario you're in. Sure, you'd win the United States championship and you'd kind of make the playoffs. You'd have a championship back that you certainly held longer than anybody else, and you made into a championship that was a main event championship. No question about it. You were the measuring stick. You were the workhorse. You did a lot with that championship. But it's not the world championship. And we are going to talk a lot about that. And we spoke about it last time you were formally here about winning a world title again and that responsibility. And the fans have gotten behind you. And I kind of think it would be a minor disappointment for you because you'd make the playoffs, regaining your United States championship, and the way you lost it certainly is in the back of your mind, but it's not that ultimate goal, which was the World Heavyweight Championship.
Exactly. And that's where the yes comes in, that it would take a toll on me because my whole mentality going into last month was winning the IMF World Championship, was facing in Black and making sure that he understood I'm not the guy that he thinks I am. I'm not the pushover that he thought I was. I'm a man that can stand on my own 2 feet, look him dead in his eye, and smack him in his mouth. But Omen, you took the cheap way out. And now I don't get my one-on-one opportunity that I rightfully earned. I went through 20 guys in a Rumble to earn that opportunity. And with 20 guys, I beat all of them. So let's show the world who hasn't seen what happened.
Which I'm surprised. I mean, at this point, it's closing in on 350 views. But nevertheless, if you do want to sub to the IMF, I would really encourage you in joining me and hitting the sub button because they're almost at 4,000 subs. I remember once upon a time, Anthony, I think the IMF just hit 1,000 subs, and here we are at almost 4,000 subs. Congratulations to yourself, Anthony, and the rest of the locker room on their hard work, and it certainly pays off. But join me in hitting the sub button for the IMF. But you're out here now, and the fans seem to be behind you. It's definitely a sight we're not used to here on Sportswire over the years. And you've come out here first in a match that obviously we know it wasn't the one you were anticipating, but nevertheless, it's for a championship that, well, you may have should have held, I think now 15 months ago, if you know what I mean, if you catch my drift.
Oh, yeah.
You knew what I was referring to there. I see. But what did you think here now? Rory Fox comes out. And I mean, this is a man that has had quite a resume and definitely a different opponent from your career. I mean, you did speak with an older gentleman yesterday, James Taylor, but Rory Fox is, I think we could all agree upon in wrestling, is a lot more accomplished inside the ring than James Taylor. We love James dearly and eagerly here on Sportswire. Let me put that out there. We're not going down that road, but Rory Fox has had an amazing career. I mean, this is a man that has accomplished a lot. He has been a reality star, and he has definitely done a lot for our sport. And you're in the ring with him. I mean, Anthony, and what an entrance. Have you, first of all, ever seen an entrance like this up close in your now 9-year career.
No.
I was so looking forward to you.
Fuck
I was
up.
so looking forward to you answering that. I was so looking forward to that.
See, he was taking his time trying to get the glory that he thought he deserved. Homeboy, your glory left a long time ago when your dick popped out on national television.
Whatever you do, don't. Hopefully, young Keanu didn't hear that. Please, let's hope he didn't hear that. But obviously,
But
listen, that's a smart move by the veteran. You don't think that's a smart tactic? James Taylor wasn't doing that when we watched his match yesterday. This is what a veteran should do in the ring. He's taking his time. We're going to see it throughout the match. He's taking his time, and he's making you wait. He's making you wait, which is a very unusual point in your career. And any time, you never wait for anybody, and this man is making you wait.
yeah, and that's what's his biggest downfall. See, the biggest thing about Rory Fox is he's a reality TV star. He's a guy that everyone should, fear/respect at the same time, and it's all on his time. No.
Well, we're used to that, Anthony. We've had you were used to that here on Sportswire, waiting for our guest's time.
you're on the real deal's time at this point.
Well, that's true too.
You're wasting the time that we could be in there getting your ass kicked by me and me winning a championship.
But that's smart psychology by a veteran. Anthony, I get wrestlers on here all the time, even independent wrestlers, right? And I was hearing you talk a little bit about that. We probably get, believe it or not, more independent wrestlers than any other of the food groups. And I talk with wrestlers all the time, Anthony, right? In the independent circuit, which you guys are obviously an IMF a part of. And I always say, the veteran move is to bide your time. Make your opponent wait. And he's doing exactly what a veteran should do.
I mean, if that's how you want to put it, is that how you want to see it?
What else am I supposed to say? I mean, it's definitely a unique entrance, but he's making you wait. I mean, Gabe Sayers didn't do that. James Taylor didn't do that when you wrestled them. And I mean, obviously, Darkron didn't do that. Drago certainly didn't do that. Jovi didn't do that. I mean, we can keep going, but he did. And now the man that you've really got some history with is coming out. And that is the Prince of Professional Wrestling, Felix Jones, the PWF World Heavyweight Champion. The world is definitely his. He's taking a different tack. And what is your thoughts on now what we're about to do?
See, I've said it multiple times. I'm never gonna stop saying it. Felix is an incredible talent. I mean, I can't knock the kid. I can't knock him. But he's arrogant. He reminds me of me when I was his age.
But he's got a world championship. He's got a world title. Shouldn't he be allowed to be arrogant? I guess.
I mean, you're right. You're right.
You were the United States champion not too long ago. You were coming on here with that championship.
I mean, I guess.
You were the NOCW First Blood champion. You talked about that many a times last year when you held that championship. You were even on site one time with that title.
Oh, yeah. And see, that's the thing about it is people got to understand that was old me. That's not me now. See, the old me would have done the exact same thing Felix did. Tell the crowd to soak it in. Let them know that I'm the champion. But now, Felix, if it wasn't for your boss, you wouldn't have that championship. Because the crowd wanted me to win. The crowd was behind me. That entire match, no one was behind Rory Fox. No one was behind Felix Jones. They were behind Anthony Steele.
Well, in defense of Rory, they probably hadn't seen him on TV in a while, so they forgot about that. And Felix, well, I mean, Felix is definitely taking a different path, but Felix has got the world championship of the PWF, and who's to say he's not doing a good job with it? I mean, I think he's got the title. He's the incumbent, but the fans have been behind you. There's no question. I agree with you. You have definitely earned the fans' respect. I think you've earned the fans' respect, Anthony, because of what you said last night and what you said to open the show, is that you are here every month. You are wrestling no matter highway to hell. You are out there. You are who you are. People can take it or leave it. But it's kind of like what I've always said about you for almost 3 years when people would tell me, don't bring Steele on. Don't bring him on. Don't do it. Don't. But I would say, no, I watched this guy in the ring compared to other guys that have gone out there. And he looks like a wrestler, talks like a wrestler, and he is a wrestler. And that's why you've got the respect of the fans.
And that's the thing. Is like I said last night, I live this. This is my entire life. Wrestling is my entire life. For those that don't know, is I'm doing this, and I have Bound for Glory on. Like I watch a lot of wrestling.
No, you do. You listen.
Like,
I mean, you know more about wrestling than an encyclopedia.
like I've said it before on here, dude. I love going against the old heads and talking to them about like old school wrestling that happened way before I was even born, and literally telling them things that they didn't even know, and they lived it. They lived the era.
I mean, James Taylor. We were here with an old head yesterday. James Taylor, an old guy,
Like,
obviously here.
like this is my life. This is the only thing I want to do. And facing Rory, it was an honor.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna knock him. But I showed him that I might be young. I might be, 1/3 of the time that he's put into this, but in 1/3 time I've done a lot in my career, and I showed him why I'm one of the best up and coming talent in the underground and independent scene.
Well, I would agree with the last part. I would definitely agree with you on. But Anthony had to have been the longest entrance of your career. I mean, that was certainly rivaling the Sami Zayn Roman Reigns thing in Elimination Chamber in Montreal last year, almost 2 years ago. And I mean, Anthony, I mean, that has to have been something you'll probably never see again in your career, entrance wise. And then the length to start this.
I hope.
That 8 minutes had to have felt like 8 hours. Had to have been.
Unless the Undertaker's walking down that ramp, that's the only time I want to see a long ass entrance like that.
Well, you know what? Maybe he'll come to the IMF at this point. I mean, you just never know. You never know out there. But certainly, how do you think this impacted you in the match? Did it help or hurt you? I would be curious on that for the audience.
It just got me more fired up, more fuel to the fire, as I would say. I've needed that time to focus, and focus is exactly what I did.
Oh, you did, but Rory's just doing what a veteran would do. He's just sitting on the outside, letting you and Felix go, and clever tactic by the veteran. But you get Felix, a man you've got plenty of history with, Sinners, Wolves, and Felix, on the other hand, is not Rory Fox. Felix is definitely not going to bide his time, but he's going to certainly try to get into your head and play some mind games and talk back at you, which he's become pretty good at, I've noticed.
See, like I said, Felix reminds me a lot of me at his age. I did the same tactics, and that's why I know exactly what he's doing. But the one thing I'll tell Felix is, you got to try harder to beat me if you're going to beat me. Because you can't beat me on my own game. Ooh. I created that game, Felix. I've mastered that game.
What?
And every time, Felix, I will always know that while you can play mind games, I can read you like a book. And your mind games, they're just thoughts in your head at that point. The only thing that would have been solidified if it wasn't for Omen Black, is the thought of Felix Jones retaining would have just been that. A thought in your mind. Because in the real picture, would have been plastered all over YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
Twitter's a thing
Snapchat.
still. Snapchat's still alive.
Like, that's the thing, man. And Rory, he's a funny individual.
I tell you what a vet. I tell you what, smart move. This man is brilliant. He didn't have to break a sweat. He let you and Felix go back and forth and bided his time. That I hope every wrestler, I don't care where you're wrestling, pro, independent, WWE, backyard, underground, trampoline. I know you said a few things about it, but regardless of where you're wrestling, I hope you pay attention to what this man did, because he bided his time and waited till he finally had to go out there and tussle with you.
Oh yeah, see, he was playing mind games too. You know, he wanted to see what I can do, and then once he was like, "Oh, I can do that better than Felix," then I had to show him what I can do to him.
Well, he's not Felix. He's got a little more meat on the bone. You do acknowledge that.
Yeah, he has more meat on the bone, and it was still easy to toss around like it was nothing.
Well,
because as you're about to see here in a minute, is he tries to get the upper hand, and then what happens? Boom.
Well, you know what? Well, maybe he just forgot to turn around. he did turn.
Picked him up, held him up, drop him.
Can't knock you there, but look at how smart the veteran is. And he goes outside the ring, and now great idea. Felix has to deal with you again. It's almost like Ring Around the Rosie.
Oh yeah.
A whole lot of Rosie. I mean, Highway to Hell, AC/DC, and that's what Rory did.
Yeah, he knew that he needed to get me a little bit weaker to try to take me out, but that's the thing, man. Is just when you think I'm down and out is when I come back the hardest. And he learned that. He learned that I can take an ass whooping just as much as I can dish one out.
Well, that's true. You definitely earned that. There's no question what you can do in the ring, and you've told the world that you have to get an MRI because you may, which we still don't know, and hope that you don't have a torn MCL, but you are getting at some point potentially an MRI very soon. But you will be in action this Saturday. We're here with the real deal, Anthony Steele, who has definitely evolved, and he is sounding more and more like somebody who is very close to winning a championship, a world heavyweight championship. Could that happen? We'll have to find out this Saturday, but we're watching his most recent match here, courtesy of the IMF's YouTube channel. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally all music and wrestling matters. And if you're here, please hit the sub button for the IMF. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and join us here this Saturday at the Palo Community Center. But I'll tell you what, Felix is back, and he's back on top at Rory.
That's what had to happen. It's like, in order to get that down, man. You know, it was smart strategy.
Yeah, I tell you what, Rory's definitely a unique individual. He is a unique individual, and he is a veteran. And Felix is now going after Rory, but I don't think Felix has got yet the upper hand when it comes to strength, and I think he's going to get initiated here with those chops from the one and only Rory Fox.
Oh yeah, see, Rory took him to school, and that's the one thing a lot of people say is Sticks said it. He would try and take me to school, and he taught me a little bit. He taught me how the old heads work. That way, the next time I face an old head like him, I know what to expect.
That's a great segue. Do you want Rory Fox one-on-one?
Oh, I would love to face Rory Fox one-on-one. Just me and him, mano a mano, straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Because then I'll show him, hey, I ain't going to let your thing expose, but I'll expose that this old head can't hang with this young buck.
Well, that old head, I'll tell you what, still looks pretty good out there in the ring. And that old head, he's moved pretty well as a veteran in the ring and outside the ring, and maybe he would disagree with that, I'm sure.
I mean, I'm not gonna say he can't work. Like this was a prime opportunity to show what he's truly made of. He has
Yeah,
two young talent, and he stood toe to toe with both of us. I'm
he
like I
did.
said, I'm not gonna knock him just as much as I'm not gonna knock Felix. You know, and this realm of wrestling, you know, it's this is our escape from reality. And when we're out there, it's what can we do? What can we prove to everybody in this that to make our name bigger and better than what it already is? And that's the one thing I was looking forward to while facing Rory Fox, is making my name bigger, because not many people my age can say they faced Rory Fox and showed him, like, hey, you've been in this a lot longer, but I'm a lot stronger. I'm a lot
Yeah,
tougher. I'm a lot faster. You know, Rory's not 20 years old. He's not 30 years old anymore. He's old. And while I grant that he could still work, when you step into a ring with a guy like me, like a guy like Felix, it's there's no breaks. We don't take a seat with the audience. We bust our ass to show the world what we're truly made of. And that's the one thing I'll give credit to Felix for. Is Felix is a dude that he keeps going and going and going and going. And that's what I love most about Felix. Is, again, I like, he probably won't like that I say that he reminds me of me, but he does.
you've been saying that throughout the telecast.
Like I like it when you show that there's no give. There's no give until your body finally says no more. And that's who Felix is. Is he waits for his body to tell him no more. And I respect that. I respect that in Felix Jones. But what I don't respect is that he had to use his uncle, as he calls him, to help retain that championship.
You know what? I'll go down that road when that time comes, but certainly that'll be for a different point in the match. But right now, Rory Fox is taking he shows. I'll tell you what, he's taking everybody to school, and he's a legend in this sport. And Felix Jones is going toe to toe with him, and Anthony Steele is somewhere in the background. And we're gonna certainly watch the finish of this match, which is coming up here very soon. But let me ask you this question: what's going through your mind here right now?
See, at this point, he ran my shoulder into that post, and that sucked. So
And you
I
just
don't,
came out there and gave
I
him
don't,
had a shot there, sir.
I don't recommend getting thrown to a post like that. But I'll say, like, again, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop fighting until my body says I can't no more. Um, and Rory took advantage of that. Of I was getting banged up, I was getting hurt, and he utilized that to his advantage. And it doesn't matter how much you try to team up with Felix. Felix don't team up with nobody but with Felix Jones.
Oh, you know that better than anybody. I mean, you basically said that he's following in your footsteps, but I'll tell you what, he's got a world championship. So maybe he's not following your footsteps because he's got a world championship, and right now he's going along with Rory Fox, and you're definitely down and out, and they're gonna certainly try to move a big guy like you, and you are one of the bigger guys, and they did it. They were able to find a way, and you were definitely down and down and out.
Oh yeah, and see, that's the thing, is like, I keep saying it took two guys to do something like that. Felix knows
Yeah.
he couldn't do that by himself. Rory should know that he can't do that by himself. But it's it was their moment to shine.
And
And
it's the time for commercials to shine so we can give revenue to the IMF. Well, it does help them. So, everybody, please go and watch the ad the full way through because it'll help give them more of good stuff we can post out there. But there you go. But we're coming toward the end of the match. Obviously, we're coming toward it, and Rory Fox is down and out, and he's come back up, but Felix makes a mistake and goes back to you and gives Rory a chance to come back up, but maybe should have been focused on Rory. But you come out there like the real deal that you are, and you're back up on one and a half legs, and Rory Fox is gonna definitely eat that, and he's gonna eat a little more of that. That boot is definitely one of the, well, let's just say realist out there around, to quote the
Oh,
Hall of Fame moniker. Yeah,
hey,
I think
look,
he'll let
I've
me
said
say
it
that
once.
one.
I've said it once. I say it again. I love imprinting the Jordan logo on anybody's face. Um, it is a staple of mine at
And
this
those
point.
punches. And by the way, I gotta ask about what's coming up here because you did something that I noticed, right? You know what time it is? Was that what you just
Yeah,
did?
I'll do it again.
No,
4 up, 4 down.
no, wait a
Um,
minute. Has hell frozen over?
but
That you've done that?
here's it's the thing of it wasn't a shot saying that I joined the foundation. It was we all knew what was happening. We knew
Mm,
that they were playing the system with the whole thing. You know,
yeah.
Felix Felix thought it was going to be an easy night, and when Omen didn't want to give me what I wanted, Felix had no choice but to take it. And that was the whole thing of this is I walked into this wanting to show Felix what Omen's about to endure on Saturday night.
Well, you know what? We're gonna find that out. But right now, you were trying to get back up, and Rory and Felix are stumbling, bumbling, rumbling, and they're doing everything they can. And you're about to get back up on two knees, and Rory's gonna use those stiff punches. Obviously, some of the best punches in this sport, especially in Iowa. And they're working on you, but they haven't quite gotten you back down. But you've gotten, it seems like, another burst of adrenaline, a burst of air that you will need. You'll need every ounce of that coming up this Saturday in the Palo Community Center. I'll also have an announcement for you on the other side of this match. I'll have an announcement for you. As a matter of fact, I'll have a few announcements for you since you may or may not want to hear them, but I've been given orders to give them to you regardless. But that punch, I could feel that from here, and this match seems to be over. Rory Fox is about to be, well, he's supposed to be down for the count. And this one, well, you're going to find out soon. But yeah, that's not going to be the move that's going to get you down eventually. But Rory thinks he's won this match. But Felix Jones, I'm not quite sure what he was thinking. But it seems like right now Rory Fox is down and out. But you're going to find a way here, Anthony, because you know what's on the line. Main event, sold out crowd here in the Palo Community Center, almost all of them unanimously behind you, and you know what's coming, and you've blocked it, and it's coming, and oh yeah, it's about to go. And there it is, that kick. We can feel it heard around the world.
Shout out to Damian Saint. Shout out to Damian.
Thank you, Damien, for all you've done for our great sport. But Anthony, you got to finish the job. You got to finish the job. And wait a minute. Is that a fan? Is that a fan that's coming? A fan is obviously, what did you say about somebody here on Sportswire or on an IMF promo? Because it seems like a fan has come in here, and that fan seems like has given you a familiar move, a familiar finisher that you may have felt before. But this fan is obviously telling you that they don't believe in this real talk you've given us and what the fans see. And you're down for the count, and it's all going to be over. But the shouting here quicker than a New York minute. And obviously that fan is definitely not a fan of yours and definitely not wearing this, but you can still get it in the T Public store, Anthony Steele. And yeah, Felix has got it. And here's Smokey to count. 1, 2, 3, and still your PWF World heavyweight champion. The world is his. Felix Jones, Prince of Professional Wrestling, retains. And Anthony, this could be you this Saturday. Could be the same fate. Could be the same. But that fan, obviously, definitely not a fan of yours.
Oh no. Omen Black will never be a fan of Anthony Steele. Actually, no, he used to be. I'll find the video where he admitted it on Sportswire.
Yeah, you guys have been, you've been here a bunch of times.
He admitted it on IMF that he was a fan of mine getting into this because he saw what I did back then, and he knows I can still do it now, and that's the biggest part. Is Omen knows going into this Saturday, I'm the same man that he watched back then. I'm just a lot bigger and a lot better.
Yeah, you might be. I mean, you've got ring gear customized now that you're going to be wearing this Saturday, and that may very well give you another shot of adrenaline. And also, the fans unanimously are behind you, it seems. And the boogeyman on his platform, the champion, is about to let you know that the house always wins, and you're not quite going to get what you want, because we'll turn it up here shortly.
Anthony, you get your title shot next month. But so does he. Yeah, stand up, I'm talking to you. You're the U.S. champion, right? You want to play the right title? How about this? Whoever picks who becomes both United States champion and the world champion. If I get pinned, my title's gone. You get pinned, your title's gone. I'll see you next month, Anthony. Well, sounds like there's an issue challenge right there, Anthony Steele. He said we accept. We're going to see this next month, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, I think we got the point, Anthony. It wasn't what you hoped for, and will it be the same outcome this Saturday? We'll have to find out. But obviously, a lot of people want to talk to you. I want to give you something while I have a chance, because I think things are going to get interesting in a minute. But Anthony, you have certainly done a lot. Will it lead you to a championship or a championship again that you've held this Saturday? Time will tell. But I do want to give this to you because it's good to have you back home. It's your day. You've gotten many of these before, but it's time to give you one of these. And congratulations. But I know you really want the brass ring next Saturday. So just saying, but you got this in the meantime.
See, that's the thing, is it's always going to be my day when I step on the Sportswire radio.
Hey, listen, Josie Scott, it wasn't for you. Some would say there would be no Josie Scott.
I mean, the way I look at it is a lot of men have been on here and helped build this platform, and I'm not going to knock any of them. I'm not going to say that I'm the only reason why Sportswire is where it's at. And I'll do this. I'll break the fourth wall a little bit for you guys.
Oh wow!
Let's be a little bit controversial, but in a good way. Without guys like Omen Black, without guys like Soldier GP, Justin Parsley, James Taylor, Anthony Steele.
Yeah.
Jason Storm. Jason Storm. You know, here I'll even.
Black. You can throw CJ Black in there. Definitely throw CJ Black.
We'll CJ.
I throw Chase Wakefield in there. Chase Wakefield's been on here a lot.
Like there's Comatose.
Comatose has been. His mom watches our shows. By the way,
it's there's been a lot of people that came. Dark Cron.
If you don't mention Dark Cron and Matthew Forsaken, we will.
There's been a lot of these guys. Jovi.
Jovi.
A lot of these guys I've shared a locker room with. Some
Drago.
Drago. You know, it's shit. Jordan Nets, Jason Myers when
Yeah,
they
Jason.
do show up.
Well, Jason hasn't had to. He was the dominant
You know,
tag team champion in the IMF. You don't have
and
to.
the way I look at it all is,
Nicholas Crenson. You can throw Nicholas Crenson in there. You can throw him in. There a lot, Nicholas Crenson.
without these guys, Sportswire wouldn't be where it's at.
Wouldn't be where we are.
We've all collectively come together and made Sportswire a staple.
You're home.
Name.
Yeah, well, you know what? It was about time to get you guys on here these last few days. About time, to be honest, because there was definitely some episodes before we got to Josie Scott and Queen, Jeff Tate's guitarist. But Anthony, there's a lot of people that want to talk to you, but I have somebody in particular that wants to come on here and talk with you about some of the things you've said tonight. And spoiler alert, it is not the Nemesis James Taylor, the Tyrant King, because that was yesterday's show. But this individual wants to come on and have a chat with you. Now, I know you're less controversial these days. You're more humble. The fans are behind you. You've been more real. You've been more open. So I could tell this individual that maybe they want to come on another time, or maybe they just want to do a promo on the IMF's Facebook page, which we encourage people to please support. But I'm giving you the opportunity to either allow me to bring this person on, or you can tell him it's your night, and, that's what you do, used to famously say.
Bring him on.
You sure?
I ain't never been scared of someone coming on here.
All right, well, we're going to do it because for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the final Chief is here. The United States champion, the champ is here. And I'm letting him talk because he's been waiting a lot longer than a New York minute to address some of the things you said tonight.
Well, I like to start off because, the final Chief likes to come in. And great time. So thank you, Tom.
And happy birthday to your wonderful son. And happy birthday.
Appreciate that. He said thank you too.
And I told the missus on Facebook I would wish him a happy birthday. So I wanted to do that.
So there's a few things we got to run through before we have this match. Uso Steele. I like how you brought up every match that you've had this past year that's been so spontaneous. But the one where you got whooped in less than a minute with Drago. Where you got pinned at Summer Bash 3. But
you didn't whoop me. You didn't whoop me. You rolled me up.
It seems I didn't have to whoop your ass. So there we go.
You rolled me up.
You've had to deal damage to pin me. So now that we got that out the way, let's run through something. How many matches did you do as U.S. champion where, I don't know, maybe not the ref, but maybe some of the fans, when the product got done, made and uploaded? How many times did we see you cheat? How many times did we see you not win fair and square? I mean, who's to say that, the day that you won the title, you won it in a...
Oh, that's a good point. Yes, that was the person we never identified. That's a great point last year.
So you forget. I'm their high chief. They started calling me tribal chief before their high chief, then their high chief. That's why I'm the final chief. People like you make the system where it is, where it's like kind of in the middle. It's like, are you bad or are you good? We don't know. That's for the fans to say. But let me tell you this: when I was hearing some of the things you said tonight, Uso, it felt like you were stuck in between trying to do good things and recover from the stuff that you did bad. But I'm going to just tell you like this, like my mama used to tell me, a man that does bad things in bad ways, just because he is a good in one day doesn't mean he's good all day. And I'm going to tell you like this, Uso, the fans, I don't know if they trust you. They might trust you. I sure as hell was hesitant.
That's a great point because we spoke about that, Drago, a couple of months ago. I remember that was a big topic, and could you trust Steele and everything, especially with what Anthony did to your family, to the missus, to the Ulafalas, to your heritage, all those things that Anthony did. You can't just forget about that.
No, yeah, and you're absolutely right, Tom. You cannot forget it. I know it's your night. I'm sorry, so I don't mean to take any light from you, Steele, but I just wanted to shine some light down that the High Chief, just because I've been so quietly, doesn't mean I've been having peaceful thoughts. Yes, the Final Chief is here in your time, in your zone, on your chat, but in stream. Sorry, Tom.
You can say
But
whatever you want. You're my final chief.
it
I
just
acknowledge.
feels a little disorientated, or you got me a little discombobulated when you say the fans. Like, it, hold on, Chief. Like, hold on, oops. Like, out of all the work I've done, you gonna say you the best U.S. champion? Because I feel like so far you've had, you brought it up. You had a lot of not a lot of singles, but more singles matches than I would say than I have for my title defenses. So I give that to you, applaud. But is it not statistically speaking harder to defend said title in a triple threat than a
Percentages are
one-on-one?
less. That's a good. You've been in triple threat matches several times. Guys against you practically in 2-on-1s, and the odds have been against you mathematically. I think that's a valid point, Anthony.
You know,
My
Drago.
starter math's not all the way A minus A plus, but the same.
You know, Drago, you're right on some things. You're right on some things. It is harder to retain the title in a triple threat. I give you that. Trust me, I should know. I faced you and Kron in one inside of a cage.
Very true.
And one thing that you brought up, the night that I won that championship. Do you recall what happened? Can you elaborate what transpired that night, Drago?
Which moment?
How did I win? What did I do? What did I do, Drago? So you can't tell me, can you?
We're not going to bring the footage up.
But here, no.
It's his night.
Here you go. Hold on. Here you go, Drago. I'll tell you what happened. This is what happened. These same brass knuckles is what knocked out Sean Joby. Right here. Still to this day, have them in my household, in my luggage. And this is a piece of history of that championship because I made it a piece of history of that championship. And I'm a man about things. What I did to you was messed up. What I did to the Ulafalas was messed up. And I apologized. And I understand going into all-out warfare, you could not trust me because no one really trusted me in that match. You didn't. Parsley didn't. Soldier didn't. Because all of y'all, I knew all of y'all had the same mentality. Is he really gone from the house? Is this a ploy? Was this a ploy for Anthony Steele to turn sides and turn on the foundation? But I proved that night. Drago, that wasn't the case. There's you taught a life lesson that your mama taught you. Let me teach you a life lesson my dad taught me. It's just because you do bad things to people doesn't always make you a bad man. Because every man has his dark days. Every man goes to a place that he sometimes does not like in the future. And back then, I was a very shameful man. I did some things to you that a man should not be proud of. And again, I'll say it again. I apologize. But going into this match, going into Saturday night, the one thing that I'm looking forward to the most isn't burning down your heritage. It isn't messing with your family. It is going after the World Heavyweight Championship with also having the opportunity to take back what you took from me. Now, I say this out of love. You're great talent. I love working with you. Shit. I was one of the guys at Summer Bash 2 that praised you, and I just met you. But the one thing I will say, Drago, is going into Saturday. This is something you heard a lot during that title run. It's business. And business is business between me and you. It's business between me and Omen. It's business between you and Omen. We all have a path that leads to each other. One way, shape, or form.
But that could complicate both of your paths. There's no question that both of you have been dealing with Omen in some cases longer than one of you, but both of you could get in your own way, and the house always wins.
And that's what I was about to say, Drago. This match can go one of two ways. We both want that world championship. I know you do, and you know I do. Who doesn't want to be the IMF world champion? So simply put, we can either work together and take out Omen and figure out what's going to happen, or you can get in my way and I could take you out in the process while gaining that world heavyweight championship. Because like I said, I'm not 100% focused on your championship. I'm really not. And that's no disrespect. That's not saying that you're not a meaningful champion. I'm saying I'm going after the title that I should have had a one-on-one match for last month. A title that you should have had a one-on-one match for this Saturday. But because of Omen, he fucked up everything. He messed up everything. So now you don't have to just deal with Omen. I don't have to just deal with Omen. We have to deal with each other. And I'm fine going to war with you again. But let it be known, Drago, with all due respect, it's not going to be your time. It's going to be mine.
Now, Anthony and Drago, I know you guys have been going back and forth, and I can ask you a lot of questions, but I have received word there is another individual here that would like to come on and like to give their opinion and talk about some of the things you men have done. Now, obviously, we don't know who this person is. Could be a fan. Could be somebody from management. We don't know who.
Can it be Zilla?
If it's Zilla.
I want to hear what she says. I want to see if she actually watches the product.
No, Zilla's a big fan. Zilla watches you both. Watches you both like a hawk. I mean, it's that season, right, where the birds go south. Zilla watches you like the birds going down south. But it's not Zilla. I could talk about Zilla. We love Zilla. Zilla, stay here in the chat. Don't get any ideas.
Love you, Zilla.
But I do have someone here that would like to come on and have a chat with you two men about some of the things you've said tonight. Now, if you would allow me to, I would like to bring this individual because we don't know who this is. We don't know what they have to say. And I mean, it is your house, Anthony.
Bring whoever it is on. Let's get this done and over with.
It almost sounds like labor, Anthony. It sounds like you're in labor there. But
I don't get paid enough to listen to other people talk.
Well, you know what? That would be a great job. It's called therapy. But you know what, Anthony? I have never gone to therapy, so I'm gonna now do this because for those that are listening and watching in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. Wait a minute, that's the undisputed champion on his platform. That's Evan Black, the boogeyman of the Midwest, is here, the hardcore god. And I'm just not even saying it. I'm turning it over to him because he now wants to talk to both of you men before
Let me start it off. I'll ask him the same thing. Hey, Omen, how you doing, buddy?
Well,
the same way that you ask me every time. How you doing, buddy?
You done talking? That's all you do is talk, and talk.
You're damn right.
That's all you're good at is talking. And you're not even that good at it. Listen, I listen all night about you talking about how you're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're the greatest U.S. champion. You're going to be the next world champion. I don't believe one word that you're saying. Drago doesn't believe one word you're saying. The fans don't believe one word you're saying. And I can tell you right now, you don't even believe the words that you're saying. Anthony, if you're not ready to be the IMF World Champion, you don't have what it takes to be the IMF World Champion. See, I got out last month scot-free. It was easy to get a doctor's note not to wrestle because I want two birds at once. I want two birds with one stone. I got to take out you, and I got to take out Drago, and they're worried about the next two buffoons for the next 2 months. Tom, how many days left until my contract ends? A couple months?
We got right now officially. We have 80 days.
80 days.
80 days.
80 days when I walk out the last undisputed IMF World Champion. Anthony, you're not going to get in my way to do that. Drago, I damn near killed you last time I met you at Summer Bash. You're not going to get in my way. So who's it going to be, gentlemen? You guys going to bring up different arsenals now to take me on? Because Anthony, I'm pretty sure me and you are one-on-one. Drago, I think pretty sure me and you have wins over each other. But I evolve every month. You guys don't know what's up my sleeve. I'm constantly 2 steps ahead of each and every one of you in the foundation, not in the foundation, just in the locker room itself. I'm 2 steps ahead of even Palo itself. What are you going to do to take me off the throne, take me off the hill as the king of the hill, as the king of the mountain, Omen Black, the IMF Undisputed Champion? I'll wait.
I'll wait.
Wow.
Phone off. See, I understand you can't hear, but it'll be all right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to body your big ass. And Drago, like I said before, you can either help or you can
I
get
got
in my
bored.
way. But that's the thing. Omen. That's the thing. Is I've done it once and I've proved it. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to pick your big body ass up. And I'm going to knock you the fuck out.
Tom, correct me if I'm wrong. When I took my headphones off, he started talking. Of course, he's going to be the first one to talk. He said he's going to pick my big body ass up. Am I right?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, I
sir.
did.
Of course. Yes, he did.
Of course. He's nothing but original. He's nothing but, man, I can see it come a mile away.
So you mean to tell me that Anthony is just repeating what he's been saying for the last 3 years, and that's why
It's
you're
the same
focused-
shtick, just a different.
So
just a
I
different
gotta
match.
ask you though something else, because you got Drago here, you've got some history with him recently. What about the prospect of being a double champion, walking out with not 1 but 2 championship belts there, sir?
You know what, Tom? I want to talk about the dynamic of this, I guess, war we're about to go to. See,
Yes.
I have everything to lose. I have very little to gain. I can lose my IMF World title, but I also could gain the U.S. title. El Drago, he has somewhat to lose, somewhat to win. He could be the IMF World Champion. He could keep the U.S. title, but he also could lose the U.S. title. The only person that has nothing, and I mean nothing to lose, which I like, is Anthony Steele. But that's what I would say if I was Anthony Steele, Tom. I'll tell you this. Anthony does have one thing to lose. When he is beaten in the face with failure, it's going to be a tremendous loss to his ego and his pride. And that, to me, is worth gold.
And what? I'm going to run, Omen. Is that what you're going to say next? I'm going to run away like every company. Like you've been saying for the past couple months.
Trust me, after what I learned tonight about you, there's not going to be much running after this.
I was glad you brought that up, champ. And I'll go for the same with Drago. Anthony announced to the world to kick off the show tonight that he might be dealing with a torn MCL. I mean, fellas, for you, this has to be the biggest early Christmas gift you could get, because now you know that Anthony, he may have more to lose than both of you two because of his health. Either of you may put him out on the shelf for who knows how long.
Are we sure this ain't some like heel stunt to win the sympathy of the fans?
Hey, I want to tell you this.
But
It's common science, Steele. You're not able to hurt yourself like that by hitting yourself. But trust me, I'm not going to hold back. I can imagine Drago's not going to hold back. Drago, he gave us a handicap. Now you can count me as the devil on your shoulder, Drago. He burnt your Ulafala.
I brought it up tonight. What do you say?
He brought up your wife.
This is here in the chat, Kiera, and we know what Anthony said about her and to her face months back.
Some things you can forgive, Drago, but there's some things you cannot. He disrespected your culture, your heritage. He disrespected your wife.
Yes, I did. And you know, Tom,
Yes, sir.
I think now is the right time to say the final announcement that I had.
Okay.
Omen, Drago. This Saturday, both of your championships are on the line. And Omen, you're right. I have nothing to lose.
Yeah, I told you.
But the best thing about it is I have everything to gain leading into the week after. And the thing that I'm talking about is I could take the IMF World Championship or the IMF United States Championship with me to Pekin, Illinois, with where I just signed to Foundry Pro Wrestling and defend the IMF titles there.
Whoa! Wait a minute! Can you repeat that again for the audience? Because it sounds like you are.
That's the thing, Omen. I have options.
So much for an MRI, right?
Maybe Drago was right. Maybe Anthony is trying to get sympathy from the fans. This is sympathy for the devil. Pleased to meet you, Anthony Steele. But that maybe Drago's right, because if you sign with another company in another state,
another state, it's my home. I get to do the one thing. It's a compression sleeve that I have to wear.
You did mention medical orders.
Medical orders. I can show you the papers. No, I finally get to do the one thing that I've always wanted to do in my career, and that's compete in my home state. And what would make it so much better is to beat you, Omen, and beat you, Drago, and take one of those championships home with me and defend it here. That's the biggest thing about it. That's the biggest gain for me. And Omen, the biggest part of it all.
Come on, tell me, sunshine.
The biggest part of it all is the face that you're going to make when you lose that world championship. See, and this ain't to shit on someone, but there's one person that wants to bring the old you back. His whole mission is to bring the old Omen back. I don't want the old Omen.
You don't?
I don't want the foundation 4 up, 4 down Omen Black. No. I want to face the guy that I faced 2 years ago. Same thing I've been saying for months. The same guy that I picked up on my shoulders and slammed. The same guy that looked at me to my face on this very platform and said that you looked up to me when you started this. For the simple fact that, Omen, while you don't like me, and I understand there's a lot of people that don't like me. I get it. I've done some very bad things to some very good and bad people.
No.
But the one thing that you can understand that you've agreed upon is my career speaks for itself, Omen. I've been a world champion. Not once, not twice, 3 times.
Is that when you're wrestling on a pad in the backyard?
3 times, Omen.
Was that when you were wrestling on a pad?
3 times. I've won
On a
indie
pad.
championships. I've won indie championships.
NOCW First Blood.
And now I'm about to do that all over again.
Oh, is that the same title where there's only 2 ropes? Is that the same title we're talking about? Or the world titles you wrestled on the pad with a couple guys who shit their pants? Is that the guys we're talking
We
about?
know nothing about that, Anthony. We don't know nothing about that.
It doesn't matter where it was.
The same
It
guy
matters
that
it
had
happened.
shitty pants that you took his girlfriend from. Is that the same guy? The same company we're talking about?
We don't know. We have no memory and recollection of what I know, Anthony, is that you have signed with another company in your home state.
But yeah,
I feel like Omen makes a point. You're trying to do the same thing that Omen's looking to do. He's looking to take the championship home with him permanently in 80 days.
I don't want to leave with it and never come back. No, I'll defend it everywhere.
Everywhere. Oh, everywhere.
Everywhere.
But say Omen may not do that though. He may do that somewhere else in 80 days.
Because the one thing I've learned about Omen, teaming with Omen, is selfish. It's all about him. It's about his plan, his vision.
But it hasn't his vision worked? Well, we're going to a new venue in the IMF. We've got Tone Boss opening the show up. We had Rory Fox here. I mean, can't you say that he's the one on top? And the viewership is through the roof. The attendance figures are up. And you look at who's the champion. So wouldn't his vision be working from a business standpoint?
I'm the king of the mountain right now.
Let me say this, and I know exactly what you're going to say when I ask this question. So I please want you to flatter me at this point.
Oh, come on, sunshine. Already. Born us.
What's the real reason you wouldn't face me one-on-one last month?
Why would I do that when I could just fuck with you and screw with your mind a little bit?
Why wouldn't you face me one-on-one? Is it because the last time?
I can tell you this. I can tell you this right now, and you're gonna find it funny. So just humor me, please. The reason why I did what I did, Anthony Steele, is because, as we all know, I'm undefeated at Ring of Champions. I'm currently 4-0 at Ring of Champions, right? My streak at Ring of Champions, it's not going to have anything to do with Anthony Steele because you taint everywhere you go. You put a stain on every place you go. And I will be damned. I will be damned if I'm going to be 5-0 and have Anthony Steele's name attached to me at all.
Or is it because you know that the stain would have been a fat number 1?
Oh, you got me. You got me there.
You know what?
Pal.
I'm glad that I have 8 hours ago, and I think that's
the thing. That's the thing. Omen, the one thing that I have valid proof on is you can't beat me straight up one-on-one. The only time you have beaten me was with the help of somebody. That's proven. You can't back out of it. It's proven. The last time me and you went one-on-one, I beat you at your own game. So, of course, that's the reason why you waited to have me versus you versus Drago, so you have an extra man to help you.
Is that the plan?
Prove me.
No. You're me, right? You know what? You know everything, right? Anthony Steele. Is that the plan? You for sure. All right.
What else would there be, Omen?
I've said it many times already, Steele. 2 birds with 1 stone. Why keep going months and months and months facing the same garbage in the foundation or people who assign or align themselves with the foundation when I can just speed run my way out of IMF with the world title? Because really, I actually have an announcement too. Omen Black is not just going to be in IMF. Omen Black's not just going to be in REW. Arkansas Premier Entertainment Wrestling contacted yours truly, and I'll be making my debut in the next couple months in Arkansas Premier Entertainment Wrestling.
Arkansas. Well, you know what's funny? You say that because we actually have Arkansas wrestling coverage on Sportswire with someone Anthony knows and Joey Knight Jr. And I'll have to maybe remind Joey Knight Jr. of that, and maybe a detour could be Haybarn Championship Wrestling, and you can meet Joey Knight Jr. because he was the hardcore champion there. Wow! And you know what? I've even got more news because It is, after all, Omen Black's platform, and the champion's holding court here Wednesday night. He'll be here 9 o'clock Eastern, and you might want to tune into that because the Boogeyman's returning to the platform that, well, it's really his, and he's going to address all these things and some.
Drago, you're pretty quiet over there, buddy. I know this is kind of a big deal for you, world champion, and I guess the guy you beat for the U.S. title.
Sorry, I was doing what's
just remember what I said, Drago.
Stuff.
Remember what I said, Drago. He's not the innocent one in this match.
True.
And he just proved to everyone that he's been lying about that knee. MRI, meaning I'm gonna go wrestle somewhere else, guys. That's what he means. Right? Right, Steele? Yeah.
I'm gonna wrestle everywhere. Like I said, for the past year and a half, I've wrestled on it. I've wrestled Drago on it. I've wrestled you on it.
What was the point of bringing up the announcement then? The guys that got a hurt leg. I've been hurt for a while now, but I'm hurt.
Drago said, you know what?
Because it's worse now.
I'm hurt, guys.
It's worse now. It's worse now. I'm not. See, I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm hurt.
Like I was sick, right?
Like that's the biggest thing of it all is I'm not ashamed to understand that this could fuck up my entire course. That ain't a joke. That ain't a play. That ain't to get in you guys' minds to think something's gonna happen. I'll say this. I'd rather face you guys for an hour on this than to actually fucking understand that something's wrong.
Be careful what you wish for, Anthony.
No, we talked about this the last appearance Anthony was here, and I remember you said the same thing, champ. You said that then 6 weeks ago. We're now getting it.
The number one thing.
Yes, we are, Tom.
I'll say this. Like I said, I've been doing this for almost 9 years.
Yeah.
This is the scariest instance that I've dealt with. And what made this all happen, what made me figure out all of this, is my leg popping and me dropping. That's the scary thing. Because I don't know if it's going to happen in the match on Saturday. I don't know if my leg's going to completely give the fuck out.
Well, you better bet your ass it's gone.
But the one thing I will say, which I said last night and I say it tonight, I'm still going to fight. I'm still going to fight you. I'm still going to fight Drago. I'm still going to fight whoever they put me against at the Foundry until I get told that I can't do this. I've said this for years on this platform. Until my body says I can't, I will not stop.
All right, but let me ask Drago a question because Drago, Omen was right, but there is something else. Drago, I spoke about Omen having the possibility of being a double champion, but how about for you? We know your heritage. We know everything you've done, everything you've fought through. This is your moment. You've certainly had your own obstacles over the past couple of years. You've had your own obstacles that you deal with on a daily basis, but now you've got an opportunity to be right up there with some of the greatest Samoans who've ever stepped foot in our sport. We talked about the fact you were the first Samoan briefcase holder. Now we have a chance for you to be a double champion. And there are very few Samoans who have ever done that, being a double singles champion. I got to ask you, what would it mean to you to not only be the United States champion, but to also now truly be the IMF World Undisputed Champion and to finally solidify that you are the final chief? What would it mean to you to be a double champion?
I think it would mean exactly that, Tom. I think people forgetting that Drago's always been the underdog. Drago's used to the pressure. Drago's won this title. Drago's won the briefcase. Drago wasn't just passed down to Ulafalas and the family. The people of Palo chanted and called me their tribal chief. Bet they know that would solidify anything and everything that has to do with Il Drago being the final chief. That would be me being the final chief, double champ, 2 titles. It doesn't really matter if the fans would agree, if Steele would agree, if Omen would agree, because they already know. They've already done it in the past with me. They confirmed, they seen the pain, they seen the trouble. See, that's the thing with Steele, is you can get a couple cheers, you can get in your head about the fans, one love to you, but here's the thing. The fans will let you know when they love you. Not you will let them know now is the time to love me. That's the issue here is they learned how to love me. They just gave you a little love. So, I mean, who's to say next month or this coming Saturday, next Saturday, you walk down that entrance and because of what you said so far on Sportswire, maybe they don't like what you said. Maybe they don't like your attitude. Maybe they don't like how you possibly faked the injury. Maybe they feel like, maybe he's just doing this to try and get Omen's head, like Omen's gotten Steele's head. And I'm going to just blur this out right now because it's all blurry. I'm also focused on you too, Omen. So it's not really I'm pushing past, distracted by everything Steele's done in the past. I acknowledge that was in the past. That's okay. Some things don't change. Some people do. That could be. I don't. I'll tell you that right now. Whether it's the high chief, final chief, tribal chief, doesn't matter what stage I'm in. I will always be the truth. I came on Sportswire speaking the truth. I came in IMF speaking the truth. And I sure as hell, when you first met me, showed up to Summer Bash speaking nothing but the truth. So it never changes with the final chief or the high chief, Il Drago, whatever you want to call me. Who's to say Il Drago isn't the one to walk away? Like Uso Tom said, with not just the U.S. IMF title, but the IMF world, undisputed world heavyweight title.
And you fight for much more than even both men have to deal with on a daily basis because we know
right.
your heritage.
I got a whole tribe to fight for.
Yes,
hey, I got a tribe too. I got a clan. I got a whatever you want to call it.
Well, I wouldn't say that clan, but there is a point.
Whoa! Not that clan.
Good.
Whoa.
We hope not. But Drago, we hear all the time about Anthony's pressure, Omen walking out of the IMF, but we know the heritage that you have to live up to, the pressure that you deal with. You don't even have to put that on you. It's just they're out there. There's so many of them, but you now have this opportunity to be one of the handful of Samoans to be a double singles champion, and that puts you right up there, literally, as you just said, to solidify yourself as the final chief, the final boss, whatever you want to call it. Your fate is in more ways in your hands than both of these men this coming Saturday in the Palo Community Center.
Yeah, Jimmy Uso. You got it.
This is the way I see it, Uso. If I don't get pinned, I still lose. Even if I do get pinned, I lose the title, obviously. But if I see someone else get pinned, I still lose. Because I lose the point of proving who's the final chief. I get the point of the proof of can Drago be a world heavyweight champion in IMF. I'm pretty sure the fans believe it. I'm pretty sure they, Uso Omen over here and Steele up there, they probably don't want to believe it. But like I said, at the end of the day, it ain't up to me. It ain't up to them. It ain't up to, Uso Tom. These are all opinionated, accusated thoughts that we're all accumulating in a chat and on a stream. But what does matter is that this match is coming up. And
it's coming up. And I'll tell you what, we're going to be talking a lot about it more Wednesday night, 9:00 Eastern, 8:00 Central Standard Time. And Omen Black will be here, and he will address some of these things and some. And the champ, well, it's his show, so I'm not sure if you both will be visiting, but knowing Anthony, he will be visiting. Just something tells me he will be visiting. Whether he's welcomed or wanted, that's a different discussion. But I think maybe we've gotten some of the point here so far tonight. So I'm going to go and give everybody an opportunity to say a few words. I'm going to go with you, Anthony, first, because, Anthony, you've had plenty to say, and I'm going to save Omen for last because he is the incumbent in this. But you've certainly said a lot of things, Anthony, that now people are confused about. You talked about the MRI for the injury, but then you said Foundry Wrestling coming up here the following weekend, and you may want to take your talents there with the IMF Championship. So who knows what happens there? And you've talked a lot about an apology, and you went back and forth with Drago and Omen. But I mean, we'll get to the chat. I mean, I'll read off some people here in the chat, but we've had so much to talk about here tonight. Maybe we'll give the chat an opportunity. But Anthony, do you have anything else you'd want to address here before we give everybody else a shot?
Look, guys. When it comes to Saturday, we're all fighting for the same thing. Drago, we're both fighting for the same thing. And that's to be the face of IMF. He'll hear this later. You don't want him as a face. I don't want him as a face. He does not represent what IMF truly is. And now, in what? 6 days? 6 days time.
We're still talking about fucking days and
In 6 days, it's time to knock Omen off his pedestal. It's time to make sure Omen Black doesn't leave with the championship, doesn't run IMF anymore. It's time we finally make a statement.
probably book my scheduling right now. Why are you still talking?
Well, that's certainly one thing. But, I do have to get to one particular individual's comment that might certainly spark the interest of another Samoan, and that's one of my favorites. That's the wrong one. Daniel Tafu! I did want to say, though, that was up, Oos. You'll need me and my team, that collective, which some people have heard of, and there'll be a topic later in the week, to come down because we still have a match to do, Drago. Oos, it's time for the acknowledgement of Tafu, the USWA Universal Champion. So just wanted to throw that out there. Yes.
Can I talk, Tom?
You can say it's your platform. You can say.
I'm not going to lie. I thought I was on Sportswire tonight with Daniel Tafua.
Well, they look a little different. I mean, Drago and Tafua, they look a little different.
I thought it was Jimmy Uso, Jay Uso. I thought it was Jacob.
I love Daniel Tafua, but he's a little shorter than Drago, and he is a little
Oh, Drago. I got it.
Bigger. Drago is a little different looking than Mr. Tafua, but that's okay. I'll let it slide.
I want the angry
I'm the
dragon.
final chief. You know that. You should know that by now.
Okay, well, maybe we'll read a few comments for fun. Ox McCoy said, you and your team need the IMF. No disrespect, Oos. Also, the Prophet Jordan Crowley, hey, Drago, how about that burned Ula follow? We've talked a lot about that.
I like that guy right there. That Jordan Crowley guy.
Jade, I don't know how you feel about Omen Black. Wanted to say,
you get her out of here.
I figured that. I'm calling you Mule McCoy. Skull says hello. We'll leave it at that.
And next time I see his crystal ball ass carrying them or by the ring, I'm gonna spike him.
Hey,
Decisions made in fear. Decisions made in fear always turn into regrets. And I swear on my hardcore championship, you, Felix, and the Midwest Express better make peace with whatever God you believe in. I see that one. I'm a fan of that one. I'm iffy on one I don't like. Boy, there's a lot of comments. Yes, happy birthday, though, to Keanu. Definitely do that. Ox didn't realize the show was starting early. Anthony decided he wanted to compete against Taylor and the Chiefs. And Taylor is a little bit little skinnier than Anthony likes. So that's why we want to start earlier. So just saying, which is probably true. Anthony, I'm not saying anything that's not too true. As usual, Steele didn't comprehend the bigger picture. You had better hope and pray it's worse than I let on. Ox is talking about his shoulder injury. Also here, partially disappears every time I check in. Well, maybe he's just focusing on his own match and Sean Jovi. Fast forward to the end of the match where Anthony didn't win, which we did
like
show.
that guy. That guy right there is smart. He's funny.
Dark Crime wanted to say hello to everyone. And also, by the way, before I do put this out there, shout out to Kiera's Comfy Creations. Please go out there and buy a blanket. Jovi has one. I think Kron has one, or at least he said he had one. And for 9 months, Anthony, your performance wasn't the greatest. That's why you should hit the sub button for the IMF. Also, Zilla's here. Wanted to say hello to Soldier, which I know Anthony may or not want to hear, but Justin Parsley, the Hall of Fame monitor, did have a comment here. But in that same breath, I don't like the chances of the only one-legged guy without a belt in this matchup. The greatest wrestler to be a member of the Sinners in the House. Well, he's the Hall of Fame monitor, and he certainly does give his opinions. Yes, we thank Keanu, and Sean Jovi wanted to say number one, and he probably fell asleep. He wanted to compare you to the Real Meal Comet. I guess he must have listened to the Ozman Comet's Greatest Hits album and decided that he wanted to call you the Real Meal Comet. Maybe the roast of Anthony Steele just happened there, but chestnuts are not roasting on an open fire. You will learn all kinds of lessons, and we will all rejoice. That is the Prophet Jordan Crowley, which, by the way, I did enjoy the commentating team of Prince Achia, Dirty, and Jordan Crowley. They make quite a trio there. Definitely they could be used in some Major League Baseball playoff games. What's sad is Steele thinks Rory stood toe-to-toe with them. LOL, Steele couldn't lace Rory Fox's boots.
Correction.
Yes.
Neither one of them can lace Felix Jones's boots.
Well, but there is a point that, see, I gotta say the Prophet is partially correct. Why? Because if Anthony does have a torn MCL, he would not figuratively and literally not be able to lace Fox's boots. Get it? Couldn't bend down with the MCL, and he wouldn't be able to lace them. So he's not wrong.
Steele's looking bored up there. All right,
because people said they wanted to hear their chat, and you know what? I'm giving it to them. The people are tuned in for it. They want to hear the chat now.
No, that's not. It's not you, Tom. I think Steele got burned out from talking for an hour straight.
Well, I mean, I guess he wouldn't last too long, on the floor of the Capitol Hill, but we could use him there. But Zilla is in the house. That's up to Omen. He'll talk about that later on Wednesday's show. Zilla appreciates that. Jade is asking, how does Anthony feel? And how does everyone else feel? An interesting show tonight. Jordan Crowley, not a fan of Drago and Steele, and he says Steele stinks. He put the S word in there. And hello to the final chief and the Samoan Dragon. Happy birthday to Keanu. And oh, good grief, the wannabe big deal and the mid chief. No, that the midterms are next year. Such compelling content here. Yes, happy birthday to Keanu. And thank you, Skulls. Who else we missed in the chat? Ox is evolving. The enforcer of Sportzwire Radio is evolving. It is 2025 after all. And that's the difference, folks. If I'm legitimately injured and this guy skips shows because he doesn't feel like it, I'm not sure what the comment is referring to there, Omen. I am going to move on.
He's just a little butthurt that I'm currently also the IMF hardcore champion. No one's going to contest.
Says the guy that ripped off his sling last show. And Zilla is Team Omen Black. When I went to get a pick with Steele, he wouldn't stop talking. So my dad said, just interrupt him or else you'll be waiting for ages. That's what Anthony. That's not true, right? Do you want to apologize for that?
What?
we all can believe that.
You know what? I'll keep reading comments because all of a sudden the views are up. I think people did want to hear their comments. So good call, Jade and Zilla. The numbers are up. All talking, no substance, right, Jade? The House of Wolves is my favorite faction in wrestlers and IMF wrestling.
I appreciate that, Zilla. Thank you.
You know, I was in pretty good with Donnie prior to the split with the Wolves. Who's to say I can't use my sway and get you in that ring, Mr. Prophet? He's doing commentating with Prince and Dirty. I don't know if that's his cup of tea.
No, pull his ass in the ring.
I can't comment.
Shut your mouth. All right.
I like the sweatshirt Steele. I got matching pants. Speaking of no substance, and I can re-split that chin and let you experience a feeding tube again. Let's certainly not go there. No substance between the ears, Ox. You didn't call anyone, Crowley. Omen didn't make that call. What's that old saying? When the cat's away, the mice will play. The call was made long before I ever picked up the phone, Ox. Boy, pick up the phone is the moral of the story here in the House of Wolves. My real IMF world champion, the legend, the GOAT, and the badass, the leader of the House of Wolves, Omen Black, is my favorite from the House of Wolves. That's a lot of favorites and likes. See the one. I'm the fan of that one. Yeah, I think I read that comment already. Who else we got here? Hello to Daniel Tafua. Who else is in here? My side, and I stand with my loyalty, is the House of Wolves. Speaking of the Hall of Fame monitor, the calls the ox a mule. Ironic. Steele wouldn't help Rory carry in his merch. He's not lacing any boots. Now, Anthony, you don't have to confirm this on Sportswire. You do not have to confirm this. You've changed your ways. The fans are behind you.
That's fucking hysterical.
So you don't have to confirm.
I did not help him carrying his weight.
Anthony, the fans are behind you. You may not want to confirm that because you want to respect your elders.
That's funny as fuck. I'm not even.
Did you get any merchandise at least? And Jade is now certainly her day has been made because Parsley has arrived. More comments. We'll get to them. We can make it down and we can make things happen. Sir McCoy, and it can be fun. Omen, not all Samoans look alike, my friend, but I can show you how dominant we can be.
Where'd you put Spear at Summer Bash?
I wouldn't be able to comment on that. That would be a question you'd have to ask him.
I mean, you could have shown me that day.
That's a great point. But I wouldn't know enough about that to confirm. Card could always be subject to change. I agree with Mr. Tafua. Happy birthday to young Keanu. And speaking of more comments here. Oh, look, the guy that thinks he's God's gift to everyone, Justin, blah, blah, blah. That would be a Circle of Jerks episode, which you might have seen previous guests on here. Speaking of people that have been in the ring with main eventers and hold gold, that is the one and only, the psycho killer, Dave Jameson. Tafua, you told me to join. Well, he's here now. And by the way,
Dave Jameson,
yes. Yeah, I was watching him on Facebook yesterday, and they were doing my intro, and it was fun. Dave Jameson and Felix Jones would absolutely go mad, and that would certainly break the internet and maybe be a great place for Cedar Rapids. Hello today. You'll be hearing a lot more about them, I think, on Friday's show. Stay tuned. Jordan, watch it. That's my bestie, the one that has helped me with mental health. And you know what? Mental health is a big issue, and I believe that it's not.
Show me the help. Because it ain't working.
But she said she's gotten help with mental health from Justin Parsley.
She needs to get professional help.
There is a number for that. You can certainly call that number, and I would recommend anybody to do that. And Circle of Jerks was funny. Was she on that episode? She's too young. She can't watch that episode. She's barely allowed to watch some of these episodes. But lately, the ones you can watch, the ones with Josie Scott of Saliva, because he did tell you say no to drugs. Please listen to his advice. Yes, Day, we need to get them to follow us so we can make things happen. A lot of things are happening right now. I see that.
Whoa.
Yes.
You need to follow, me, and then these fools are here. But you need to follow me, IMF, world champion, undisputed champion.
We've got the now Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots world champion, the Banana Man Lestat. He just defeated Worldwide William Renee. And they've got Ample the Destroyer.
That feels good. That feels good right there. I acknowledge myself.
Well, you can. You are the champion, but the collective collect a lot of belts. Circle of Jerks, I would recommend watch that with parental guidance. YouTube Zilla. And I did watch True Blood. Well, I mean, listen to what Josie Scott just said on Sportswire. Say no to drugs.
I'm so fucking done.
Say no to drugs.
Can we wrap this up at this point?
She's going on about.
All right, we'll give Bago. If you got any final words, we'll go to you, and maybe it is time to put a wrap on this one because there are people here that probably need to.
My God.
My final words are: I'm looking forward not only to shutting up not just Omen, because obviously he's the world champion, but also some of the shit Steele said. Also to the fans, I should say before I should have said before this to the fans. Thank you, always tuning in, watching Sportswire. If you're in the Cedar Rapids or Iowa area, or you're near Palo in that area, general area,
Yeah.
Sorry. If you're in that area, make sure you come out and check the show. It's going to be a spontaneous show. It's going to be action-packed. There's going to be a lot of action, obviously. If you love wrestling, if you love traditional wrestling, or you just want to come out and see a great show, IMF at Palo Community Center.
I'll be donating my ticket
Saturday.
tomorrow. Now, Omen's back on Wednesday, so
Of course, Anthony Steele's in the kitchen.
Well, he's hungry. I mean, Jovi called him the real meal comet. To be fair, Jovi did call him the real meal comet. I mean, and Jovi should use that on vlog 226, which I'm sure he'll film next Saturday. So maybe that could be the real meal comet.
Did we watch 225?
I did. I watched it.
Where I decimated Jovi?
Final Chief's got to go. So
Thank you, Drago. We'll see you soon. See you maybe Wednesday. And happy birthday to Keanu. Yes, we did watch it, and Drago had to go. And Omen, you want to say anything else before we go? You want to say anything else?
I was gonna tell him happy birthday to my little nephew. No, there's always room in the House of Wolves if you want to join, kid.
Yeah, you could be, But anything else you want to say?
My
Yes, sir.
final words until Wednesday night. Yours truly and Tom's Bryce. Anthony Steele and Il Drago. What can I say different than what I've said in the past or tonight? Nothing. I could say that I'm going to decimate you, Steele. I'm going to make you regret every word that came out of your mouth tonight. But you be expecting that. The fans be expecting that. And the IMF universe be expecting that. Like I said, Steele, you, in your own words, you think you have nothing to lose. And I'm kind of happy that you feel that way, but it's going to be poetic justice when you realize, when you lay there in defeat, that you were absolutely wrong. And I was absolutely right, that you had one thing to lose. When you walk out of the ring with your tail tucked between your legs, you're going to be carrying the medal, the championship of failure, when you know that your ego and your pride and your honor have been victimized by yours truly, the guy who knows you better than you know yourself, Anthony. I've seen it many, many times from you, Anthony. Your ego gets in your way and you get blinded easy. Hell, I didn't even think I was going to hear the words come out of your mouth last time when you said you're going to be tag teaming with James Taylor. Shout out to James.
Yes, he did. He did mention it.
Hell must freeze over when Anthony Steele's feeling kind of left behind. He needs to latch on to someone who's coming back to the relevancy.
And he even wanted a shot at James if he wins the OCW Delta Championship. Anthony even mentioned going to Mississippi, that he had been there before, he had lived there, and he knew all about it, and he knew exactly the venue where James was wrestling in. Yes, that happened last night.
You know what? I could be like certain people and cut and reshoot what I just said, but I'm not going to do that. No, and we all know who I'm talking about. Anthony and Drago, I'll be seeing you Saturday, and you're going to see that everything I've been saying tonight is 100% true.
Well, we'll have to find out. And final comments. Daniel Tafua says, you're right, Omen. Things happen, but let's plan it out right. And I am the USWA Universal Champion. Daniel Tafua! Let's get together and make things happen, sir. Omen, I will certainly connect. If you aren't, I'll connect you both.
See, that looks like a U.S. title. Am I wrong? Does it look like a U.S. title?
Well, a little bit, but that's the USWA for you. He's the Universal Champion. Day is the Keystone State Champion, and he also holds one half of the SCW Tag Team Championship. By the way, Omen is on his way to Arkansas as well coming up, so that may be a topic for Joey Knight Jr., who's returning here. I think maybe Tuesday.
Is Joey Knight at
no,
Premiere?
He's actually Haybarn Championship Wrestling. He's in Prescott, but he's going to be here before you, so I'm going to bring it up to him. So that'll be
most definitely.
I'll bring it up to him.
Steele's not the only person trying to go other places. See, I'm not going to burn the bridges I make. Steele, I can't say the same for you.
Well, you know what, Anthony? You've never burned bridges with me here on Sportswire. You're always welcomed, and I'm
Yeah,
sure we'll.
you better knock on wood there, Tommy.
Well, let's just long as Josie Scott's happy, long as the big boys are
There you
happy.
go, I
But
did
they
it for
seem to
you.
be happy so far with you, Anthony. So we'll continue to bring you on. But until then, thank you everybody for tuning in here. I'm here tomorrow, and I don't quite know who I'm here with, but I'll be here either with the actually establishment themselves from Hayborn Championship Wrestling or the Psychotic Freak. So I think we'll have to figure that out tomorrow. I'll have to flip a coin. Whoever which promoter wants. Yes.
One thing before we go, are you familiar with a wrestler named Zach Gowen?
Of course I'm familiar with Zach Gowen. Yes, I am. Of course.
Anthony! What leg is it that's bummed or hurt?
Anthony, don't do it. Don't say it.
What leg?
I told you not to say this. I told you not to
I'm going to
make
make
the
you the
announcement.
closest you can ever get to being WWE. Let me take out your leg, and bam, you'll get a contract. Go to Brock the next week. I promise you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Omen will be here 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Follow the IMF. Check them out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Anthony, I hope you don't have to bite your words. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one, Global Radio, into the Sports by Radio, where all music and wrestling rise. Have a great night, everybody.